Hello, everyone. Just wanted to come on here and talk about the Nintendo Switch and its legacy. So, as we know, we're less than a month away from the Nintendo Switch 2's launch, and I wanted to come on and share the collection of physical games and digital games that I've collected over the years with over the 6 years I've had my Switch to actually less than that, probably about 5.5. But to just show appreciation to this system that has really become my favorite system of all time. I love the Nintendo Switch, and it's my fit. I've had so many great experiences with it. Now there's the question with the Switch 2 if I do want to purchase it, because I do have some issues with the system in general at the moment, but we're not here to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. We're here to talk about the Nintendo Switch. So, I was a little bit late coming to the party. I started out with a Nintendo Switch Lite. I bought this on launch day. I bought this on launch day in 2019, and I loved it. I absolutely love the Switch Lite. It's so portable. It's such a good console to just kind of sink your teeth into and get yourself kind of like into the ecosystem. Because at the time I really was not huge on Nintendo consoles. I didn't really own a Nintendo console before this. Last Nintendo console I owned before the Nintendo Switch Lite was the Game Boy SP. Technically, my sister owned a GameCube, and I played that a lot with her. So take that as you will. But this isn't my main Switch today. As you can see, there's a lot of indie games, a lot of 2D side scrollers on here. This is not my main Switch today. I mainly use it for a lot of smaller indie games. So I absolutely love it, and it's been a tank over the years. It's fantastic. I ended up picking up the yellow one at launch. Yellow is my favorite color, so I was really excited to pick this up when I did, and it ended up leading into a lot more into me gaming over the next few years. So and this is where it started, the Switch Lite. Really like this console. So now we're going to get into the main Switch I use. So this is the V2 Switch, the one with the better battery life compared to the 2017 model. So and I got this probably in 2020, about 2 years after I got the Switch Lite, because I wanted to have a docked experience, and I love this. I love this. I will say for handheld gaming, I feel like it's a little bit too big and too hefty for handheld gaming, but that's why I prefer the Switch Lite when it comes to handheld stuff. But in all honesty, this barely comes out of the dock. It's probably one of the very few times it actually came out of the dock. So, yeah, it's not came out of the dock much. But yeah, this is my regular Switch that I use for the most part. But I think another accessory that I think is an absolute must for the Switch, Pro Controller. Like I will never. This is one of my favorite controllers on the market right now. It has great battery life. It's just a fantastic controller. I love it. I do want to say I do have the Skull & Co. Thumb grips on it. I've been using these on multiple of my controllers throughout, whether it's PlayStation or Xbox or something like that. I have an Xbox controller right here with a third party Xbox controller with them on, and they're a huge upgrade over just the regular grip that the joysticks have. Highly recommend them if you have any controller on the market. So we're now going to go into my game collection over the years. And the best place to start this off is the first game I bought on the console. I walked out with this game with the Switch Lite back in 2019, and that is Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I loved Spyro back on the PS1 back when I was a kid, and when I heard they were making a remaster of it, I had to hop on, and it just happened to be I didn't pick it up until I picked up a Switch, and I'm like, and it's a really good version. This is a really good version, fantastic version of the game. And only downside is you have a download. You have to have a download with it. But overall, I recommend this version. It's a fantastic version of the game, and they did a fantastic job on this. Activision, you did a great job. It's the most I'm going to give you credit for. So, obviously, that's not a long game. So, I was really looking into something to sink my teeth into a little bit more. And obviously, one of the big games on the system that everyone was talking about is Breath of the Wild. And let me just preface this. I never was a Zelda fan, really. I didn't play many Zelda games before this. This is my first Zelda game. And I loved it. I loved it. It takes some time getting used to, but it's such a good game. Revolutionary in all honesty. And I enjoyed my time with it. And I'm so glad I picked it up. But like, even the box art inside the case is amazing. Just overall, if you have a Nintendo Switch, buy this game. It's the best, one of the best must-own games on the system. Or even even if you're buying a Switch 2, they're doing a Switch 2 version of this. Buy it. It's worth it. So next game is actually the game I bought the console for. That I bought a Nintendo Switch for. And that is Pokemon Sword and Shield. I have Pokemon Shield here. That's the version I end up choosing. But this is probably my most played game on the Switch. I've probably played this well over 15 times, maybe 20 at this point. I love this game. It's my favorite Pokemon game in all honesty. And I adore it. It's such a good game. And I always cheer Sobble going through it. So this is the game that made me buy the system. And it's this game that's I'm probably going to look back as one of the more fond memories of. And I think I look back on it more fondly because I didn't care for the newest Pokemon with the open world that I had. So this is, from the sounds of it, this is going to be like the last hurrah for Pokemon for me. So I really love this game. So the next game really comes down to, so after I was done with Sword and Shield, I was looking for the next big game on my system. Like, and I was watching the latest Direct, and I was like, you know what? The final game on that Direct caught my interest a lot, and that was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And oh my god, I love this game. Like, this game alone changed my gaming habits so much. I'm an avid. You're gonna see throughout this collection there's a lot of JRPGs on here. This is the game that started my obsession with the genre. And I love this game. One of my top 5 favorite games of all time. Look at the box art. The box art's gorgeous in this. Just, if you have, this trilogy's so good. It is so good, and I highly, highly recommend it. The next game is actually kind of like it's 2, but it's the sequel. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is one of the more polarizing games in the series. But it's also my second favorite game of all time. It's so good. The dialogue, the story. The story's so emotional that could make a grown man like me cry. It was so good. And I really enjoyed this. And I'm so glad I got into the... And it all started because I saw Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on a direct that got me into this series. But like you see this, look at this box art. This box art's gorgeous. Just in general. I highly recommend this. But also piggybacking off this game. So this game did have DLC, but they released the DLC kind of like in a physical format in Torna, the Golden Country. So this is kind of like a prequel story to it, and they did release a physical version of it. And now I want to preface this by the fact that this case is not a Nintendo case. I ended up finding the cartridge at a local GameStop with no case, and I actually ended up ordering this case off a seller on Etsy. So shout out to them, and they did a gorgeous job. Did a fantastic job. So this is not an official art, but they did a really good job, and that's all really what I want to say about that. Next one is the last of the trilogy, being Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, I put a lot of hours in this. This is one of my most hyped games of... When it come out in 2023, I think. I think 2023 came out. But and I put a lot of hours in this. And I really like the game. But I will say it is a step down from... In my opinion... This is going to be controversial. But in my opinion, it's a step down from Xenoblade 1 and 2. And in terms of story and some other factors, I will say this has the best combat in the series, in the trilogy, but I do think it's a step down from the first two games. Just from a story standpoint. And that's probably going to be very controversial, but at the same time, I hold both the first two games as two of my top 5 favorite games of all time. So it's kind of I want to say it's not fair to put this in the same light as that, but unfortunately, that's the standard that Xenoblade's had over the years with me. It's such a good series, and I love it. And the next game is another game that I hold extremely dearly to my heart because I first played it on Switch, and has turned into my favorite game of all time. And that is Ys Lacrimosa of Dana. Such a good game. The combat, Ys in general has become my favorite franchise. And I have, I believe, one other Ys game in here. The rest I have on PC, but Ys 8 is where I started my Ys journey, and the combat in this game is so good. If you want fast-paced combat where you feel like invincible, this is it. This is the best combat I've ever experienced in a video game, and it's just it's just a gorgeous game in general. Done very well. Runs pretty well. So, yeah, it comes. A lot of NIS America games come with reversible cover arts, and here's the one for that. Really good in general. So, really like it. Next game we're going to go into is another game that is considered kind of a must-own on the system, and that is Super Mario Odyssey. And I like Mario games over the years, but I'm not crazy about them. I've enjoyed my fair share of Mario games. They're just not like, I'm not going on and going crazy over the announcement of one. But this was really good. Not my favorite Mario 3D Mario game, but this is a really good Mario game, and it has and there's a reason why it's always talked about as a must own on this system, and I agree. It's a must own. It's a really really good 3D Mario game, and I'm excited to see what they do with the future of the franchise. Next game is a game that had a lot of controversy, and it is Pokemon Shining Pearl. Now, growing up, the Sinnoh region of Pokemon was my favorite region, and I really like the Diamond and Pearl anime. By far, one of my favorite Pokemon animes to this day, and also I really liked just the Sinnoh games back then. So when I heard they're doing a remake of the Sinnoh games, I was hot, right on board. But again, that's where the issue is. A lot of controversy was this was essentially just a remaster with a new coat of paint. They didn't really remake it at all, and that's unfortunate. Does that mean I think it's a bad game? Partially, I think it has its issues because they didn't really fix a lot of the issues that Diamond and Pearl had. You still only have really one option, only two options for a fire Pokemon, and one of those is the starter. So it's not a bad game, but I do think it could be better. It could have been better, and they could have done more with it. But overall, great game. Don't have it in here right now because it's actually in my regular Switch right now. So, but if you've never played the games, this is a really good option to play them. Next game is Star Ocean Second Story R. This is a remake of the second Star Ocean game, and it's really good. It has that HD 2D artwork, which is gorgeous. This game is. There's a lot of gorgeous games when it comes to HD 2D, and this is one of those games where I'm like that actually had my jaw drop. It's so good, and need to finish it still, but it's overall a really good game, and from reviews, and it's considered the best Star Ocean game, and I think they're on the 7th game of that series. I want to say it's the 7th, or it's the 6th, one of the two. But overall, recommend if you're big in JRPGs, this is a must. Next game is a remaster of Metroid Prime. Now, I haven't played this yet. I do want to play it because I want to see if I actually enjoy the Metroid franchise, because I've never really got into Metroid outside of playing it. Outside of playing as Samus and Smash and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to get into this because I also want to see if I like this, because I have one game that's caught my eye recently is Metroid Prime 4. But I have this. This is a good opportunity to see if I like the Metroid Prime formula. So I'm excited to try this in the future. But it's overall and they did a really good job on this remaster. Thumbs up to them, to Nintendo. They did a really good job with this remaster. Next is, well, I think everyone owns a Switch owns this game, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Not much to say about this. This is the best-selling game on the Switch by far. Partially because they bundled it with the console a bunch of times, but overall, great game. I enjoy it, but it's Mario Kart. It's not really much bells and whistles to it. Next game goes more into Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. And Tears of the Kingdom is really good. It's a lot of more. It's more of Breath of the Wild, but with a twist thrown in. But I will say about this game, I do I like the original a lot better because this just feels like more a Breath of the Wild, and they added like the depths and the Sky Islands, and those were cool, but the Sky Islands were very hard to navigate, and then the depths was not fun at all to navigate. I think I stayed away from those like crazy. Overall, good game, more of Breath of the Wild, but I don't think it's the better than Breath of the Wild. Still a really good game though, and some really epic moments, especially the final boss fight is very epic. Next game, I have not played this yet, but it's Fire Emblem Warriors. You'll see I have a few other Fire Emblem games in here, but I really want to get into this. I really like the Fire Emblem games, and yeah, I haven't got the opportunity to play with it yet, and I'm excited to get in and play with some of my favorite characters. Like you have Chroms on here. No. Yeah, you have Chrom over here on there. Marth, female Corrin. And then you have Lucina in here too that I'm real excited to play with because there's some of my favorite characters in the series. And now we're going to go on to my favorite Fire Emblem game on the system. Fire Emblem Engage. Yeah, me saying it's probably my favorite game on the system is probably gonna tick some people off and it's controversial. But I love every man in this game. It's so it goes back to the classic Fire Emblem ways, and I think that's a good thing. Three Houses was good as kind of like a side game. Well, it's not a side game. It's a mainline game. It's just it tried to reinvent the wheel, and I don't think it's a bad thing them going back into the basics. And let me just say this: I love this game. The map design is so good, and I ended up playing with Alear, the female version, and let me just say the voice actor for female Alear was so good. One of the best voice acting performances I've seen in a long time. It was fantastic. Just overall, I recommend this game. It's really good. You have a lot of because of you have a lot of former emblems show back up from past games, and it's really good. Really enjoy that game. Next one is a game we just talked about. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I like Fire Emblem Three Houses. My biggest issue with Three Houses is just the drag the first 8 chapters is. Because you if anyone hasn't played it, you can choose either one of these 3 houses, led by one of these 3 characters that are right here. And I chose Edelgard's, and I finished her house. But if you want to do all 3 house routes, you have to start over, and the first 8 chapters are essentially the same thing, and that becomes a drag, especially later on. So I've only done Edelgard's at this point, and I do want to go back to the other ones, but those first 8 chapters are really the drag of this game, in my opinion. Alright, so the next series of games is another series that I was introduced to on the Switch, and it's one of my it's probably another one of my favorite series in gaming, and that's the Trails series. So this is Trails from Zero. This is the 4th game in the Trails Kiseki arc. I've played the other ones, the Sky Trilogy, which is on I have it on PC and all that, but overall I really like this. This is Trails from Zero. This is part of the crossbow duology, and it's really good. You get all these little like trinkets with NIS America games. Some you also get some other a reversible cover. The cover I actually have on here is the reversible cover that you get. This is the original one. I reversed it because I really like the reverse cover. So overall, really like Trails from Zero, and I recommend this series a lot. But going off of that, we're gonna go into its sequel, the second part of the Crossbow duology, which is Trails to Azure. Now these two games are fantastic. I don't want to get into any spoilers, but these are such good games, and I absolutely love these games. So I highly recommend the Trail series. Unfortunately, the whole series is not available on Switch. Well, unless you're Japanese or speak Japanese, but to that point, most of the series is the whole series isn't on Switch. I think most of the whole series can be found on PC for the most part, but a good chunk of the series is on Switch and is on Switch and PlayStation now. So if you ever get a chance, get into this. It's a very long journey, but so rewarding and such a payoff at the same time. So the next games we have is more Trails games. So this goes into the Cold Steel arc. The Cold Steel arc is 4 games, so this is the 3rd game. I have the first 2 games on PC. And this is Cold Steel 3. Really good. Again, some of the trinkets you get in these, like this one's really cool. You have New Class 7. I don't know what they call these, but pretty cool like trinket or goodie in here. And again, they have really cool reverse cover, but this game's so Trails of Cold Steel 3 is really good. But one thing I will say about the Switch version of this, I wouldn't recommend getting the Switch version I wouldn't recommend it. This version has a lot of crashes that they never fixed, and that's an issue. So I wouldn't recommend this particular game, this version of the game on Switch. But feel free to pick it up on PC or PlayStation. It's really good. Now, the second game of that is Cold Steel 4. It's Cold Steel 4. This is another really good game. I really love. I love this game. It has a really good art style and all that. Now, I was talking about the problems at Cold Steel 3. They fixed a lot of the crashing issues. Problem is that a lot of the Trails games have save data rewards if you have save data from the other games. So this game kind of has an issue. I would recommend picking up the series on like one system. And right now the Switch doesn't have it, so unfortunately. But overall, this is a really good version of the game if you don't care about that. So I recommend it. Next game we have is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Really like I don't know how I feel about this one because I really like the Xenoblade series because of their stories. Combat's kind of and this kind of leans into the combat, so I haven't finished this one yet. But I will say it's probably my least favorite Xenoblade game, which is unfortunate. Next, we have Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Unfortunately, I don't have a case for this one, so I got the random GameStop case. Haven't played this one yet. Have not got the opportunity to, and I want to, and guess we'll find out in the next few years if it's and I'll probably play it. It's on my backlog. I'll end up getting to it eventually. Next, we have Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. This is kind of like the Warriors spinoff of Three Houses. Haven't got the opportunity to play it yet. I end up picking this up for like really cheap at GameStop. That's why I end up picking it up. So I haven't got the opportunity to play it yet. So I'm excited. I'm excited to when I finally do. Next one is a game that fairly surprised me. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This, first off, if you like Mario games, if you like a lot of 3D platformers or QT games, this is a really good game. It's a really good game. You have Nintendo really put a good game together here with this. And Kirby games have always been pretty fun. I really loved Nightmare Dreamland back on the Game Boy Advance back in the day. But this is really good, and I recommend it a lot. Next, we have Nayuta Balance Trade. I haven't played this. I should, because it's literally a Falcom game, and you'll notice I really love Falcom games, so I should have this in my collection, and I've played it already, so I haven't played it, but I'm excited to get into it when I do. Next is a collection. The Suikoden collection. Suikoden is really good over the years. Haven't got to play this one yet. I've heard really good things, but I'm excited to get into this when I finally do. So yeah, heard really good things about this. I'm excited to get into it when I eventually do. Next one is Super Mario 3D All Stars. Now, I'm glad I picked this up when I did, because it is going for well over $100 now. Unfortunately, Nintendo Limited releases this, and it sucks. But it has some of the 3 of the best Mario games ever. I really like Galaxy and Sunshine, but I don't really care for 64. But overall, I really like it. If you were able to pick this up for retail when it came out, you snagged the deal, because it's pretty damn expensive now. Next we got is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Another Warriors game that's set in the Breath of the Wild universe. Haven't got a chance to play it. Picked up another game I picked up really cheap. So, and I'll eventually get to it. I have a lot of games that I need. Let's just say I have a big backlog. Next game we have is the sequel to my favorite game of all time, and that is Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. Now, I want to preface this game by saying that this game had some very tough company to follow, because a lot of people really, really loved Ys 8, and considering this is the sequel to that game, it's like it had some very high expectations to live up to, and I think it does a really good job at doing so. I don't think it reaches the highs that 8 has, but it's still a really good game in general. But I want to preface this with the Switch version. This game on Switch runs terrible. Like, there's times where the frame rate looks like a slideshow. So I don't recommend this on Switch. If you can get it on PlayStation, I think they just ported the PS5 too. If you can get it on PlayStation, you can get it on PC, get it on there, because the Switch version just isn't a good port. It's not a good port of the game. Next is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Now, this is like a kind of like a spin-off of Pokemon. It's kind of like a Pokemon Go-esque remake of Kanto. It's fine. I can't play the game. I don't like playing the game in handheld. No, I don't like playing the game when it's docked. I have to play handheld, because it uses a lot of motion controls, and I really never got into motion control, so overall, but I do want to preface this: it's the best looking Pokemon game on the Switch. Like the art style in this is gorgeous. Next one is Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Now you get to play Zelda in this one. Really good. It's a really fun game in general. Really like this one. It's a lot different than the other 2D Zeldas, but it has so much charm and care put into it, and I really enjoyed my time with this one. Such a good game if you can pick it up. I feel like a lot of people slept on this game last year, when I think it's maybe the best game of last year, or at least one. Actually, no, not the best game of last year. But one of the best games of last year. It's a really good game. Next game is Zelda Skyward Sword. Now, I have not played. It is literally still sealed for me. So, I will eventually get to this. But I have not had the opportunity to get to it yet. So, this is another game that was on sale really cheap at GameStop. So, I had to pick it up. So, yeah. I'm excited for it. Next game we have, and the final physical game I have, Luigi's Mansion 3. And Luigi's Mansion 3 is a really good. I didn't get to finish this because there's one level towards the end that is literally made me rage quit. But overall, this is a really good game. So I enjoyed it from until that terrible level, but overall, if you can get through that level, buy this. Such a good game, and one of the more underrated games on the Nintendo Switch. So now we're gonna get in. I'm gonna go into some of my digital titles, and I have a decent amount of digital titles on my Switch. And I'll go into a few of them. So I got a lot of Atelier games on the digitally. As you can see right here, I have Atelier Sophie on here. Atelier Rise is another really good one. I got Rise of 2 somewhere in here too. AI Somnium Files, I just picked that up on sale. I picked up Paper Mario Origami King. Few other ones I have. Wavetail. I played the demo for this on PC. Really good game for Wavetail. Banner of Maid, I haven't played that yet. I also have Persona 4 Golden on here. Not very good game. I've played on PC before, so very good. If you get the chance, it's a really good game. Cosmic Star Heroines is another really good game that it's kind of like an old school JRPG. Gal Guardians, a 2D side scroller that I've played the demo for, haven't beat the game yet. Opus Star Song, Opus Echo of Star Song is another game that I want to play in the future. Obviously, some of the Final Fantasies I have. There's Atelier Raza 2 I have on there. And one game that I really want to talk about on here is Tales of Vesperia. Tales of Vesperia is such a good game. Such a good game. It is one of my favorite games I've played. And the cast of characters in that game have so much charm. And let me just say this, the one character in there, Rita Mordio, is probably the funniest character I've ever had the experience of being in a party. So, highly recommend that game if you ever get a chance to play it. But that's really that's my collection of the Nintendo Switch. it's a game that I really enjoyed. A system I enjoyed and one of my favorite systems of all time. And when it's under a month until its successor comes out, so I think it's a good idea to reflect on the Nintendo Switch and the legacy that it's going to hold. So, hope everyone enjoyed viewing my collection of Switch games. So, hope everyone enjoyed it. And hopefully, you guys can go keep on gaming and hold this the Switch to a good standard in the future as well.